Yesterday, they passed a bill to allow soldiers from Israel, Israeli soldiers called IDF. They passed that bill. Didn't pass a bill. They signed a bill for them to be able to come over to the United States. Now, those same soldiers went through Congo, across seas, and they raped and beat a whole lot of women and killed a whole lot of men. They're coming over here to replace ICE. They're going on taxpayers' money. This is why I'm telling y'all to get armed.
Double honors to my apostles, the elders, the bishops of Great Millstone who ruled well, taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. First thing in the morning, our minds are spiritual. We just hurry up and, send the prayers up and start getting into the spirit, Lord willing. And, what this man said about the Congo, we're going to look it up. But, I'll ask Google a few questions. But, this reminds me of the Jeremiah 51. When it speaks about the fanners, and when you go into that word fanners, it's talking about foreigners, really, All right. Jeremiah 51 and 2, and it says, "And I will send unto Babylon fanners, which are foreigners." It says, "That shall fan her, and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about." Now, Slovakia, coming down under the weather. Now those Slovakia. Okay. Now it's not only just going to be Israel. All right. You got China, Russia. Yeah, this place is going to be touched by different foreigners, man. One thing about America and Americans, all right. Oh, excuse me. Is that they don't think that nobody can touch them. They don't think that nobody can ever come over here and do something to them. But the Lord is saying He's going to send them. In the CSB, it says, "I will send strangers to Babylon, America, who will scatter her and strip her land bare. For they will come against her from every side in the day of disaster." And that's what's coming. Let's look into that word "fanner" real quick in the inner liner. All right. It doesn't say it. Fanner. Czar. It says to be strange, be a stranger. So it's a stranger, a foreigner, stranger, foreigner, an enemy. All right, so that's what it's talking about, and that Israeli, whenever they sign that deal with the American military, all right, that's big news, man. All right, because they're gonna have to share information, technology, and right now, as we speak, the IDF soldiers, like this guy probably doesn't know that, but they were being the ICE soldiers, ICE agents, and police departments all across America are being trained by the IDF right now. All right, let me ask Google real quick.
U.S. law enforcement and security officials have been participating in training with Israeli police and military since the 1990s. These programs, which expanded after the September 11th attacks, involve both U.S. personnel traveling to Israel and Israeli experts coming to the United States.
You see, that's a yes. Police stations and military around America being trained by Israeli soldiers. It's a yes. Yes, yes. All right? Hopefully you can hear me. So yeah, that confirms it. Your police, you wonder why the police are the way they are. All right? Just killing all these people at these riots, broad daylight, killing white people. All right? ICE riots. You wonder why they going around with masks on like a bunch of gangsters, ripping people out of their cars, out of their jobs. Yeah, because we've been invaded by a foreigner. It's fanners. They got access to all of the information, implementing different technology in the cars, and then to, trying to buy off TikTok and Facebook and all these CIA, like all those different platforms. Trump trying to pass bills that you can't speak against Israel. Fanners, man. We've been invaded already, man. It says since September 11 attacks. So since the 1990s, they've been. It says these programs. It says U.S. law enforcement agencies and security officials have participated in training exchanges and seminars with Israeli police and military personnel since the 90s, man. All right? They go back and forth over there to train. Right? That's why you see the things that are happening right now, man. All right? It says the Jewish Institute for National Security Affairs runs Homeland Security. Right? So your Homeland Security is being run by Jewish people. Okay? And law enforcement programs that facilitate the exchange of counterterrorism strategies between U.S. and Israeli officials. That's why whenever they're walking through the Congress and they're like, U.S. or Israel? Israel first or U.S. first? And then the people will be like, Israel first. Just like videos like this can get struck down, man. They're going to come after people like us that speak the truth about what's really going on. So, Georgia International Law Enforcement Exchange, based at a Georgia State University, GLEE, runs exchange programs that bring international and Israeli security officials to train U.S. law enforcement. To train U.S. law enforcement, man. You see it. Executive on emergency management and counterterrorism, perspective and stated goals. Critics' view. Yeah, so pushback and policy changes. Grassroots oppositions has led some local governments to push back against these international partnerships. For example, in 2018, Durham, North Carolina became the first U.S. city to ban its police department from participating in military-style training with foreign military entities, especially citing concern over police militarization. And they've been militarizing the police for some years now, giving them different tanks and things like that, updating their technology, different gear, different guns. Yeah, see? And they're training them to go against the people, man. All right? So, yes, it's true. That is true. That is true, man. So it's not far-fetched, man. Those fanners.
What's up, y'all? I'm back. This is something that y'all really need to know. Yesterday, they passed a bill to allow soldiers from Israel Israeli soldiers called IDF. They passed that bill. Didn't pass a bill. They signed a bill for them to be able to come over to the United States. Now, those same soldiers went through Congo, across seas, and they raped and beat a whole lot of women and killed a whole lot of men. They're coming over here to replace ICE. They're going on taxpayers' money. This is why I'm telling y'all to get armed, because these motherfuckers are coming over here and they're going to have diplomatic immunity. So if they kill somebody over here, somebody black, they're not going to get in trouble for it. They're coming over here.
They have been killing people, man. They're not getting in trouble this whole time. What about all these black people recently, black men and women, so-called black Israelites, that have been being hanged every other month, man. Every other week it feels like. It's like 20 of them in the past 5 months. Hanged. Finding them hanged in the middle of town or hanged behind a police station somewhere, but they all ruled a suicide real quick. Why do you think all these things are happening? All right? They've already been training your cops. Everybody's compromised. Like it said, like we was reading, they go over to Israel to train and participate in different programs and come back and implement them inside their systems here in America. Israeli soldiers come over here to train ICE agents. A lot of those ICE agents are Israeli soldiers. All right, the same Israeli soldiers that went into Gaza and stripped little children's bodies apart, man. Little babies' body parts everywhere, all over, scattered, man. They're the same people. So this is all a warning, you know, why they ain't doing nothing in Gary, you know, the water systems, and why haven't, you know, why they've been out of power for so long. These are the same people. It all goes back to Esau, Edom, and what they're doing. Their plans are. They got plans, big plans for you Negroes, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. They got plans for you, man. All right, and they're coming down with great wrath. Jacob's trouble is coming. All right, the scriptures say 2/3 are going to be cut off and die. All right, this is a great separation right now. You know, all types of people are missing. All types of children go missing every single year. And then you never hear about their parents or anything. It's because of these guys. These guys are involved. They're running a lot of things, man. They run everything. That's why they can come over here and tell your president what to do and not to do. You trying to call for a ceasefire? They're like, no, we ain't doing no ceasefire. We're gonna keep on getting them. It's because they control the United States, man. All right, they're the ones that own the slave ships, man. Whenever we was coming over here, they own the slave ships. The so-called small hats, the Jewish people. All right, really the wicked elites. All right, Esau, Edom. They own the slave ships. The banks, the criminal justice system, they own the system. They own the banks. They own the stock market. All right. So yeah, they've been training with IDF soldiers since the 90s, man. All right. that's a quick hit real quick. Let me read the scripture again. Jeremiah 51 and 2, and it says, "And I will send unto Babylon foreigners, that shall fan her and shall empty her land." And that's not just going to be the Israeli soldiers, okay? Because China is also going to invade, I believe. Obviously, Russia. There's going to be boots on the ground in America. There's going to be a war, a civil war, revolution, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people are. A spirit of civil war is stirring up in the background over these Israelis, over stuff like that. The signing of the merger between America and Israel militaries. That's going to cause civil war. That's going to cause people to riot. Well, they're already here, man. And they speak about how Iran could be manipulating the water and things like that. Hey, who knows if it's not your own government that's being trained by IDF? How can you trust? See what these Chaldeans do, which is a bunch of warlocks and magicians, wizards over here in America with those Israelis. What they do is play tricks on the mind. Sleight of hand. You're manipulating the people, manipulating their minds. It's always something. It just never stops. It's like it's so much going on. You can't focus on one thing. That's their strategy, man. To send you looking over here whenever, over here they're doing something in the background. They constantly got you paying attention to all the wrong things. It says, "Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow." Yeah, Civil War, World War III is brewing up. "And against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host." War is coming, man. "Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans." Yeah, that's America. "And they that are thrust through in her streets." That's coming, man. Verse 6, it says, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense." That's why you're seeing all these things happen, man, in America. Yeah, you think they want to help those people in Gary? No, they had all types of opportunity to help over the years, man. The infrastructure here in Indiana hasn't been crap forever, man. They just let this shit rot away. Potholes everywhere. The rich get richer. They be getting all types of government funding, but they don't spend it towards like making sure things like that don't happen. Making sure like the pipes and the water and everything even up under the ground is running right. They don't replace pipes or anything. They don't go in there and replace and fix stuff up. No, man. They just, all that money just goes to their pockets. They're not worried about Jake in these neighborhoods, man. Yeah, so basically it's time to Georgia Guidestone you. Basically maintain, which is basically to force the course of the river. Maintain humanity up under 500 million. They're going to force your ass to be dead by poisoning your food, your water, sending troops after you, come in your house, take your guns away. All right, force you into some kind of concentration camps that they're building. Yeah, ICE is building all types of concentration camps, and they're using the tax dollars, American tax dollars, to build all these places where they're going to force you into them. Hey, the Lord's about to destroy this place, man. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that have made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. Yeah, they're hung over. It's like, what the hell? Why do we trust this devil? You know, they waking up out of that sleep. They like, you know, get a huge headache in the morning. You didn't drink too much. Now they figured it out, man. What the fuck happened? Yeah, shouldn't have trusted the white man. That's what happened. And now the nations are mad. They call this place the Great White Satan. Because the white man is the devil, man. I mean, look at his works. Look at his fruit. Look at what he's done in history. Look at all the history he's erased. Anyway, man, shalom.